we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode of Tuning In. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jay Wells. I'm here with my homie Shawn. Shawn, say what's up.
What's up? What's up? Back.
We're back. All right, this week's topic, we're going to be talking about something titled Call of the Void, also known as the high place phenomenon. And we'll delve into some other mental health things, but let me explain. If you have never heard of the Call of the Void or the high place phenomenon, this is an impulse that a lot of people experience when their body is under the risk of high danger. For example, the reason it's called the high place phenomenon is a lot of people have experienced this as they're standing on a tall structure or place, a high place, and they imagine themselves jumping, and they get the sensation and a feeling in their body, a physiological response that's almost compelling them to jump. And it's usually short-lived and it moves on. And you can experience this in many other ways, including an explanation I like to use is you're walking down the street and you see the traffic and your mind starts thinking about all the ways that danger could occur there. A car coming over the curb and crashing into you, or you trip on the crack in the ground, or stepping off the curb and boom, you fall into traffic and you get hit. And the mind experiences these things and it creates these things as a self-defense mechanism. Some people, they imagine the same thing as if they're on a bridge, or they see the train tracks, or they're getting burned by the fire, or they're doing the dishes and they imagine their hand getting stuck in the garbage disposal, get cut up. All these things, your mind plays them out so that it's the subconscious side of your brain telling your body there's a danger there. But as you can imagine, a lot of people that also experience this have maybe a tendency for a high anxiety, stress, and or a suicidal ideation. And what I've found is that in research is that there's a little of research out there that shows that some people ask themselves, why am I experiencing this? Something wrong with me? And does this mean that I'm suicidal? And have those kind of thoughts racing back and forth. And generally that's not the case, but for folks that have this happen, they get a little confused. Shawn, have you ever had any experiences like that before? You've heard of this before we got on the show and decided to talk about this one?
No, the title, that's it's kind of new to me.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about, yeah, I've been around that personally, and I know people that come up with scenarios when they're driving. They have
Oh
to
yeah.
cross the desert or something. They start thinking they're gonna run out of signal. They won't be able to call AAA or whatever. Like
Oh
just
yeah.
scenarios in their head. Like, it'd be really affecting their days, bro. Like
Oh yeah, no doubt.
they can't think of anything else when they're going through it.
Yeah, it's a interesting. It's something that I always have experienced myself, and it was at times can be annoying, to be honest with you,
Almost
because
every time.
well, yeah, but not always. Sometimes it's just like whatever. Your just mind is thinking of things. It's being a sensor, to protect you. But it is pretty. It's one of those. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's drop a beat. It's one of those experiences that remind you that there's a subconscious part of your brain working behind the scenes. It's it
Working
blows my mind.
overtime.
The brain does some crazy stuff, bro. Like we don't even think about breathing. We don't even think about walking. Once you've learned a thing to do with your body, it becomes second nature because behind the scenes,
It's
the other, the
AI.
yeah, it is. It's similar. It's what's the operating system of your brain. It's just
Yeah.
going full time all the time. I always cracks me up because these experiences come and go so fast, but I've had them and I was like, man, has anybody else ever experienced that?
It's
And that's
called
what
the Call of the Void.
Yeah, Call of the Void, or also known as the high place phenomenon. But the high place just expresses that one experience where you're up high and you're thinking of, oh shit, your mind goes through that.
The fear of the height or whatever.
Well, not even maybe not even the fear of the height. It's just your mind compels you to jump, or you're playing out the image of you jumping out of a plane or off a cliff or off a bridge or off a top of a building or something like that. Your mind plays it out, and that's because it's the subconscious side telling you, hey, this could happen, this is dangerous, warning, warning, warning. It's sending you an alert. And I just always
Mm-hmm.
like, man, has anybody else experienced this? And that's what get me to look it up. I'm like, damn, this actually has research and it actually has a name to it. Other people experience
Yeah.
the same thing, because it's just
And,
knowing the old saying, step on a crack and you break your mama's back. So you see
oh
people
yeah.
skipping over the cracks when they're walking on the sidewalk and stuff. Yeah, it's like that. It reminds me of some kind of phrases like that. But it delves into the realm of mental health, and mental health issues. They're I don't know. They're just getting worse and worse. It seems that for every remedy, for every therapy, for every medicine, um, there's just it just seems to not be working. So people are continuing to struggle, continues to continuing trying to figure out what the hell's going on with mental health in the world, in America, in my community, the veteran and service member community. It's huge, man. And like, so being close to it in a different kind of way, and I was seeing it on some friends and seeing it in myself. This just being one topic, but it's fascinating, but it also is connected to some other things like suicidal ideations and other crises that you can experience in life with high anxiety and stress that
all
pushes you
right.
to your limits. And I know you said we were talking before we started the show about our experiences with these kind of things, and you said yourself that you've had some people that were your friends or close to you that went through this. And if you want to share your story, go ahead, sir.
My story. No, I'm not gonna go into it too much.
Okay.
It's yeah,
It's too deep.
a little bit. Yeah, I went
Okay.
through it. I got over it. It was fine.
Yeah. But it's tough, man. Like I've had a lot of friends that were close to me, um, and you couldn't like I like one guy that comes to mind that I served with. I didn't know him too well, but what I did know of him was the guy was always happy. He was always smiling.
Mm-hmm.
He was always the life of the party. If you say I didn't party with him, but the energy was always high around him. People would flock to him,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
just a glowing personality. And then one day you get the call, and this dude's gone. You know, ended up he used a gun. At his apartment, and nobody saw it coming. Nobody. And it's just like, oh man. I don't want to drop names because family members and friends out there, but it's just like a ripple effect. Everybody that feels that loss of that person is like, man, how the hell did we get here?
Oh
How
yeah,
the
bro.
like how did we get to that point where it's like I've had enough, I'm out of here. Let me check out. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got a similar story to like that
yeah,
with actually one of my friends who's basically our age, maybe a couple of years younger.
yeah,
Yeah, he took his life pretty much. It's like caught us by surprise.
yeah, man. I think that's pretty common, and I think I've seen it stress out the network. When that person's removed from the network, there's a stress on the system of a lot of guilt.
You know,
Um,
you don't expect it from like certain people. Like you say, your friend was life of the party.
yep.
Yes, same thing with this guy. Smart dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Musically inclined. He understands art. He understands music. He understands a lot of things. You know, he put in
Yeah.
time. He was curious. He whatever he whatever would come up. You know, he would research it, explore it, kind of like understand it.
For sure.
But something was, I guess, too big of a topic, I guess, for him to kind of because he was the type of dude that had to get to the end of everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
this one wave he couldn't figure out where it started, where it ended. I'm not sure, but it was
Yeah.
just like the next day it was just not, he wasn't around.
Yeah, man. It's just like that's just how it goes. It's just a mystery. A lot of almost majority of the scenarios that I've seen. I mean, there are the rare few folks out there that are just living reckless, and you know, it's not necessarily that they would do the suicide thing, but they're living a reckless life. So um, the
Oh yeah,
dangers and risks of that kind of stuff. Separate thing. The things that we're talking about is the untold stories. The stuff
man.
that's overt, you'll be like, hey, man, you're
Some
risking it for the
people,
biscuit.
certain people, you like. Oh yeah, with the lifestyle you're living,
Yeah.
certain things I can definitely predict.
Yep.
Sooner or later, this is coming. But
Yeah.
with the
And
certain people, you're like, man,
how? Yeah. How?
you
What
got
the
good
hell?
grades.
Well,
Um, you
it's
understand
a
everything.
it's interesting because in our last conversation we were talking about people being authentic and um, just living their true self and finding the most happiness in that. I feel like some of the pressure of having to put on this constant filter, living through that constant filter, and oh, it's the perfect life. Oh, here's my degree. Here's my husband, wife. Here's my baby. Here's my car. Here's my house. Da da da
All
da.
the boxes check
Bazillion
marked.
dollars. You know what I mean? I'm this that. Um,
You got everything
eh,
covered.
you don't have to. For anybody that's listening or checking in, you do not have to put up that front at all, ever. Just be yourself. Um,
Seriously, for real, that's
yeah,
all.
yeah. Talk good.
Figure out who you are and
Yeah,
be that.
for sure.
Like,
It's
spend
a
time.
there's help out there too. You have the suicide and crisis lifelines. You have counselors. You have chaplains. You have now you. It's like 911. You have 988. Dial 988. Boom, instant access to people that care, people that volunteer their time to be there to listen to you and help you if you feel like you're alone. And 9 times out of 10, you're not alone. There's somebody out there that cares, man. They just don't know what's going on because you have an untold story. So I think we threw these topics in there for this discussion to get in there. I have a few things that I think Shawn, join me in these topics if you well, I have five. I have five things here that I think could help somebody that if you're struggling to build up your resilience and strengthen yourself up. First one is like changing the narrative. Um, I think counseling helps a lot of folks. I think therapy helps a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
I think taking time for yourself to journal and write it out, and or some people do notes and they'll talk it out or express themselves in ways that are maybe artistic ways. Um, those are good ways. And then you can talk through those steps and the things that are making you feel the way you're feeling, and also imagine and shape the way that you want to feel instead. Turn that into the positive. Do you do any journaling or anything like that? I know you do a lot. You write songs and you do music. Are there
I
other
tried
ways?
journaling.
Yeah.
I tried it. I don't think it was my thing because, like, my outlet is music. So, like,
Yeah.
for me, I can channel my emotions through music,
Hmm.
and I can spend enough time there exploring it, writing about it, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Even if you're not writing lyrics, do you find it therapeutic for you?
totally, bro. I can spend hours.
Do you think that sometimes the music, I'm curious, do you think that sometimes when you're crafting the music, even just the sounds, do you think that they express some of the things that you're feeling?
Bro,
And
totally.
yeah,
Sounds are just emotions, you know?
yeah, I think that's interesting. It just popped into my head as we were talking. I think I do that too with
Because,
with like the guitar and stuff when I'm goofing around
yeah,
sometimes.
depending on how you're feeling, you're gonna end up making something like that.
Yeah, it's like a vibration that comes out
And it's
of.
like, for me, it helps me work out my emotions. Like, when a lot of
Mhm.
my writings like that, just like figuring out what I'm feeling and how I can, like, put it into like a piece of artwork. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah,
like, and then by doing that, I've kind of like worked out those things. You know what I mean? Within myself instead of like I think that's the what happens with a lot of people. They don't have like way to something rewarding. Like
Mm, a purpose, like something
yeah,
purposeful,
like just
intentional.
yeah, like spending your time creating something
Yeah,
instead of destroying, I guess.
for sure.
Um, but I know a lot of people don't have that. I always think about like some people when they talk to me like, hey, blah blah blah, I'm going through something like what how do I deal with that? For like people who like paint, make music, whatever, like they can take the time out and zoom in into one thing,
Yeah,
and now they're in a whole nother zone in a whole nother space.
yeah,
By the time so much time is gone, like it's just like it's already another day by now. Like they've
yeah,
already, you know.
yeah. But not everybody has that outlet because not everybody has that artistic niche, right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, what do those people do who have like nothing to do, not even single desire to even they're just their audience. They just want to consume.
Well,
Um,
yeah, uniquely, I think we're both creatives, right? So if
right.
anybody's listening, I'd hope that maybe if you have different ways that you help process and change the narrative for yourself, drop that in the comments. Share that with some folks. I'd be
Like you
interested
gotta
in
have, yeah,
checking
something to
that out.
do. People
I
play
think
golf.
I
Sports
did.
are. I
Oh
think
yeah, bro.
sports are really great
Yeah, absolutely. Because it has a
for
community
community
and
thing.
that physical part.
Yeah, and like constantly getting together with your friends.
Yep.
Oh,
That competition, it it
the,
it charges you up a little bit.
I'm not a sports guy, but majority of my friends are. And I know
Yeah.
you are too. But like that's
Not me.
not the Raider Nation.
And I feel you.
But that's I think those people do well. Like people who are like
It's a part of it. I think it helps, right?
community, basically.
Yeah.
Sports. It's a
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Music, it's a kind of a community, but it's like a personal thing too. You don't have to
True.
share everything you do.
Yeah, you can be super introverted and self-made.
And
Yeah. I mean, you got artists that never even show their face, like the what are those two dudes, the DJs? Those guys are
the
badass.
Daft
Yeah,
Punk,
yeah. Those
that's
guys are
almost a thing now. A lot of people do that, the whole
yeah.
mask thing,
Mhm. That's
which
true.
is
There's that
cool.
Marshmallow Head DJ guy. What's his
Yeah,
name? Is that his name? Marshmallow Head?
I think that's his name, Marshmallow. Yeah, he's like a marshmallow.
That's a trippy one.
All
I
kinds of
started I started journaling. So I actually transparency. I got injured last year, and my body's just been I've been battling it for years. And in any case, trying to stay hard to kill and just healthy enough to enjoy life. But I had been so hurt that I just couldn't do the things in the gym that brought me joy or go out for runs that brought me joy. So my level of activity was not meeting what usually
I
helps
remember
me.
that.
So I was like, man, I got to get some new skills. So I decided finally to go to mental health process and try to get some counsel on some different skills and things like that. And one of the things that my doctor suggested was journaling. I didn't do it the way that he was initially suggesting to me, but it got my gears grinding, and I found a creative way for me to find a process. And it's helped me out a lot. I write down like my goals or things that I want to create or do or that inspire me. I write that down. So it's not like a diary style. It's not like recap style. I don't. It's not a reflection. It's not a memoir. It's just maybe a blurb of a quote from somebody who was motivational or some such business thing or whatever. Something that is going to get me focused on things I'm working on in my life or places that I'm trying to go, and that's helped me out a lot when I'm doing it right. And I know there's a noticeable difference when I'm not doing it routinely. So I've got to keep that into my practices and add that into my way of changing the narrative for myself when I'm feeling like crap.
When you
I, yeah,
when you're journaling, do you do every day?
I like to. Yeah, in the mornings.
You
Sometimes,
morning time?
yeah, my morning time because I get up. my new routine is a little bit different. So I haven't been doing it in the mornings every day, but what I do before I exercise, I'm hydrating and I'm doing my nutrition, and I'll write then, or I'll listen to something, and then I'll reflect on what I listened to or read, and I'll write things into my journal on that.
Like, how much time do you spend on
It's a varying amount of time. I sometimes I'm just like 5 minutes. I put something down, and I'm like, cool, time to go. Um,
like
Sometimes I'm in there really thinking for 30 minutes to an hour sometimes, but at that point I'm like, all right, that's too long.
what are you trying to like at the end of the journaling? What are you trying to get out of it? Like, is it something you go back every weekly or?
Some of it is actionable. So I've actually written down a couple plans, or things I'm going to utilize in, like my other things that I do, leading people and coaching folks and stuff like that. So I'll write down little things that I'm going to use this. I'm going to, go out here and do that. So it's actionable. Some of it's not actionable, but it's things for me to help, that I like, that I want to infuse into myself. So that's what I'm doing with my journal.
Do you ever go back and be like, oh, something you like totally forgot, but then you find
Yep.
it in your journal?
Yeah, sometimes when I don't have a thought on my mind, I'll just flip back through the pages and see if it gets me going. You know what I mean?
Man,
Yeah.
I tried it. Um, my writing got a little better,
Yeah.
but I like creating like it kind of gives me the same feeling,
Yeah.
but I just like creating.
Yeah. I never wrote like that before, so it's given me something new, and I appreciate that. And then, I haven't, I don't do the counseling for me to like, I just got to get stuff off my chest.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
find that to give me a whole lot of comfort or encouragement. So I didn't ask for that in my treatment. Um, I was just asking for skills that helped me when I couldn't do the things that were part of my routine in the past. So I think it's helped me grow, and I think that's a good thing for all of us to ask ourselves, where can we find growth and dealing with things like processing, like what the hell is this call of the void crap? What is this mental health stuff? Changing the narrative, finding these little tricks and skills from people, and exchanging ideas on how we handle it is extremely beneficial for all of us to think about. I think
yeah.
saw that a quote that I liked about this is, it doesn't have an author. I don't, at least none that I've found, but it says the portal to every next level is through the parts of yourself that you avoid.
Oh, that was me, bro. I said that.
I knew it, bro. That's why we're having this conversation. Well, in any case,
They didn't give me credit.
so with that, like one of the other things I think that can help build resilience to deal with tough times, especially with the mental health side, is to face your fears. What is bothering you? Like, what is it that's bringing you to the level to have these thoughts? And um, how can you face it? That's tough sometimes because of what it might be. But the only way is through. And if you don't face it, if you continue to avoid it, it'll repeat itself. Anytime you run into it, you will find that it will captivate you, and it will be a
Yeah,
battle every time. So you must, at a very, at the very least, you must acknowledge whatever it is that's bothering you and that you are afraid of, so that you know how to handle it when it comes up.
yeah. You gotta face it instead of running from it.
Facts. Another thing too is like, it's called self compassion, which is kind of hard to say, but I mean, as far as defining it, but like, the way I understand it, is self compassion is like, I guess, not being so hard on yourself. It's okay to be hard on yourself, I believe, but you must also be compassionate towards yourself, not just others. You're the one experiencing whatever the hell you're experiencing. If you don't acknowledge that you need that compassion from yourself to allow yourself to feel it, then you'll never process it, and you can't get to that point of getting beyond it. So that's
Yeah,
something I think that I don't know. Everybody does that sometimes. It's like, well, whatever. You know, they call themselves whatever they call themselves. you know, still being a little bitch. Get through it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's
It,
okay.
it sometimes it works, but
Yeah,
not all the time.
and it's not always just the real way, the realest way.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to feel every range of emotion, right? The great macho
Oh, you
man,
should.
the great macho man once said
Uh.
that, right? Um, that's what I believe, and I think that's another thing. Now, things like meditation, prayer, um, oh shit, just concentration, whatever it looks like for you. Not everybody's going to sit here and meditate. They don't even know what that means. They think it's something else, and not everybody's going to, right? And not everybody's going to pray. Um,
Sheesh. Yeah.
but the I think at least ask yourself, what are those things? What are people
Facts.
what are people doing? Why are they meditating? They're
Mm-hmm.
seeking usually a higher consciousness, or they're usually trying to understand themselves better. Quiet down the noise. Everybody will acknowledge the fact that these cell phones and screens and sitting at chairs and driving in traffic and all this grind on the hamster wheel isn't the best of the best. And if you don't slow down enough to listen to yourself, to your mind, your body, if you don't quiet the noise a little bit in your own way, it may not be the meditation from the ancient Eastern wisdom, right? But
Yeah.
it's still taking a moment. Can you go for a drive and just have just you and your thoughts? No podcast, no radio playing. Now I want you to listen to this podcast while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've never tried that, go ahead and turn it off and just drive for a little bit and not listen to anything other than the sound of your thoughts.
Yeah, just smell the flowers, like they say, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And just little things like that, man. There's
Yeah.
power in prayer for people. What is it?
Enjoy.
What is it about meditation and prayer that help people? It's got to be something. Something's happening that's helping people process with those
Yeah.
things. You know, Uh,
Calm down all like the mind,
yeah,
everything that's racing through the mind.
that's right.
Because it's never gonna end.
That's right. And the last tip or last consideration I think on the mental health stuff is um, the cultivation of forgiveness. And these are not my original tips. I found these in research to be through a couple different articles. Cultivating forgiveness, I thought was interesting. Right, is this idea of,
Forgiveness.
yeah. So cultivating, when you cultivate the land, you're going through this process of making it a healthy, so that it can grow things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that requires work. The land is not going to cultivate itself. I mean, there's a natural process of that, but if you're just talking about intention, some human being going out and doing it on purpose, it's the same thing. But that may not be, if I've caused you stress, or we have a conflict of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, we need to find a way to forgiveness. However, a lot of mental health stuff is requires us to have forgiveness within as well, forgiving ourselves for maybe things that are,
Forgiveness, big, bro.
or getting or going to seek the forgiveness from others. And this is complicated. It's not always easy for people to
Nah.
get over themselves and go do. An apology is not easy for
Ego.
everyone.
Ego
Yeah,
always comes in the way.
true. Oh, here's a good question, Sean. I want to hear from you. How do you deal with apologies? I used to ask this in my interviews, questions when I was doing interviews with folks. How do you deal with apologies? Like, not just giving them, but also like receiving them from others.
Dude, I wasn't good at them, but I under started to understand how important it is to,
Yeah, for sure.
take accountability, especially if you made a little mistake, or like if you hurt somebody's feeling unintentionally.
Yep.
Like,
It's hard to like get over the emotion though, isn't it? Like, even though you may like, sometimes we retaliate, right? Somebody says something to you, so you kind of, you defense mechanism, you bounce back or you say back or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But you were wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're still in that emotion, that apology always don't come off authentic.
Apologies gotta be authentic, bro.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think I always think that, and let me know what you think. But
And like, bro, like I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? It's like
oh yeah, for sure, none of us are.
I've made mistakes that I've not apologized for.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
unresolved.
yeah,
It's in the queue.
if I did, it wasn't accepted. Or
You know
like
what though? It's not always going to be, and I think it's still, even if you anticipate that it won't be accepted, I think it's still a necessary
it's a
step.
good thing to yeah,
It's this cultivation part that we just talked about in these five tips.
yeah.
And in any case, uh, do you have any other thoughts on the mental health stuff that we haven't touched on before we close this main point and kind of move into our current events?
I mean, we can go on and on.
Yeah,
You know, with the whole mental thing, bro. Like it's different at every age. You know what I mean?
that's
Like
true.
the pressure we have is different versus the pressure our parents have.
Yeah,
Um,
and maybe generationally too. You know,
yeah.
how can the kids nowadays? A lot of folks. I don't know. It's kind of a weird because we're millennials, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think we really give a shit that people talk shit about millennials because we have a good sense of humor and we can laugh at ourselves.
And like yeah, bro. Yeah,
But
big.
however, um, I think we're stuck in the middle between this generational war because we're going through this time where I don't just don't subscribe to that.
Bro,
Like everybody has different like uh, climate based, environmental based pressures and stressors because all this technology and stuff didn't exist 100 years ago, not like this at all.
no.
But they also didn't have access to the healthcare, the food, the housing, the things that we have in the 20s of 1920s. They were
Sheesh.
still segregated. There was still women couldn't vote. All this shit. Like
Medicine, like
right, yeah. So like everyone's environmental, societal, and the climate of their time has different impacts. But I hear sentiments like, "Oh, these we're screwed. Oh, if we ever do this and that, these guys are the ones leading the way. We're screwed." I just don't subscribe to that. Anybody that does, I can't agree with you. But
yeah.
I think that plays a part in this conversation as well because this is a hard time. Being a kid coming up with all this stuff around you all the time, it's not good for the brain, bro. It's not
Yeah.
good for it,
I
man.
mean, there's so much information and they're just getting it from the internet or whatever,
And it's
right?
fast. It's not like you remember the encyclopedia.
Yeah, or like people, remember people?
Yeah, I remember people. I kind of. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's
bro,
different.
you used to get your information from people and be like, you know what I mean,
Right.
hey
And
man,
you had
do
to,
this, and you know what I mean?
but you also
Like,
had to exhibit patience because you had to wait for those people.
bro, remember before all the fucking TikToks,
Yeah.
you would hear a good story from a real person.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a blessing and a curse though.
it wasn't like, oh, somebody shared it. It was nothing.
Yeah.
You had to run into this person, and this person fucking shared a story that,
Yeah.
like, bro, only he had this story,
That's right.
and like,
You had to
and
build a personal network.
bro, you would learn something from it, and then you would be entertained, and you'd be like, oh my god, and then the story would have a message. It would hit you differently, and then now you got the story after a story, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
but they don't have the same impact as like getting it from like hanging out over there, and the dude just happened to pop up, and he just
Right.
told you a bomb ass story,
Yeah, and they teach you something that you never thought was
and
coming.
you be hella thankful. You like, you know what,
That's
bro?
right.
Like, you know what I mean? There's no internet.
That's right.
somebody just came around, shared some fucking dope ass knowledge with you, which
Yeah.
he got from his grandpa, and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
rocking with that,
Yeah.
you know?
That personal touch
Yeah,
was
but
different
because
back
I
then.
remember some of the stories that I like, uh, I kind of hold close to my heart because it was like, all right, I didn't have this knowledge, and somebody randomly came in my life and be like, oh, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like,
Right.
it will touch me or whatever. Be like, okay, I'm gonna remember that story and I'm gonna remember the person and the lesson and shit, you know?
Yep.
But now you hear hella more stories, but it's just like just on the screen and
It
you don't
doesn't
really,
feel the same always.
connect it like the same. Yeah.
Sometimes it's pretty impactful, but it's not the same feeling because
Yeah,
you don't
getting it from your grandpa,
it's a
your
stranger
neighbor, your
essentially, you know.
friend.
Yeah. I feel you.
That
It does not deeply ingrained as that personal touch.
it felt different. You felt like you came
Yeah.
up on something
Well,
when it was
we got to give
when
that to
it.
people, you know. I think
Yeah, dude.
create these communities and
Bro, I
get
remember
out there.
before internet, hearing a good story with a good moral, and I couldn't wait to like share it with my other friends, so they would
Yeah.
think, oh, look at you fucking genius, you know what I mean, or like you smart, or
Well,
whatever.
yeah.
Like
The wisdom of Sean.
no, but like
Yeah.
you would collect it from the people you would come across, you know,
I
and
agree.
like dog, like a lot of my stories came from like those sources, and I'm a story guy. I love a good story.
Yeah, facts. Well, let me recap those 5 tips. If you're going trying to build resilience and you're trying to you know, things like call of the void and it's the first time you heard about it, or you're dealing with other mental health and fight or flight issues or something that's bothering you, you know, changing the narrative, facing your fears, having that self-compassion, explore meditation, prayer, and then cultivating forgiveness. I kind of want to close this section out reminding you about support options that you have out there, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, dialing 988, and so many other ones. We all know about the Google, but to Sean's point, you also know people. You also know people. There's somebody in your circle that cares about you and will listen to you. Call somebody, go see somebody, make it happen. You can get through it. I'll leave that section with this quote from Seneca. It says the man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. So knowing yourself is going to help you get through whatever it is and that's in your season that's causing you troubles. And if you have that power of projection, you can prepare yourself for when that season comes upon you, then you can weather the storm. So let's switch gears and let's start talking about current events. There's a lot of things on my mind when it comes to current events because February has been crazy and we're still got stuff on the
Hmm.
table. All right, we
This is
still
a
got to,
different type of February. We got an
yeah,
extra day.
yeah. And you know what? Um, People might be listening to this in March, so by the time it's released, but guess what? We're a few days out, and right now there's still some things going to happen. This week we had cellular outages, so many funny memes. People were tripping. Did you have any? Did you get hit with that at all?
Do you know that tripping is it's an electric term?
Is it? Oh yeah, like you tripping the wire.
Yeah, like the signal tripping now. Cause
Hmm.
I always thought I was like, oh, you tripping now, but
Like you're falling.
yeah, bro, it's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
It comes from like ask an electrician. You know what I mean? He
yeah.
knows what tripping is. It's
Well, it also comes from that joke. Did you have a nice trip? See you next fall, right? When you see that, all those
yeah,
dumb dad jokes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But that was a trip. That was cracking up. I have T-Mobile now. I switched over. I used to have Verizon, but they suck.
Bro,
They're
and
expensive.
that's sad because how's Ryzen gonna suck, bro? Like, come on.
Well, it's not necessarily about their performance and their signal. That it wasn't any better than what I got with T-Mobile. It was about just the. I was having issues. Like I'd make a payment and then it would come back, and then it was just a lot of that customer service. They didn't have the touch, bro.
But
They'll be
I don't
sending,
like that when it's
yeah,
like, bro, if you're a big ass company, you know what I mean? Put somebody in there, bro,
yeah.
for customer service or like,
You already know about the outsourcing though. They be sending it to India, bro. Come on. They'd be like,
bro,
hello,
imagine,
my name is Bill. Motherfucker, your name's not Bill.
bro, imagine having a customer support where like they don't really help you. They just like they help you cope with it. They're like,
Like,
oh my bad.
well, yes, the
I feel
situation
you.
sucks. So, if you dial 988,
Yeah.
trying to get you through the counseling real quick, this is a lot like, a bad decision for you to choose our company. So let me help you get through this bad decision that you've made. Stick around though. We want your money.
I remember having T-Mobile. That was one of my first uh, cell phone service. And bro, it was like 10 cents a text message back then
Bro,
to
it's
send
good.
and receive.
I'm happy. That's all I'll say. My switch was good move. Economically and no interruption in service. I'm telling you. I didn't have to switch phones, nothing. They hooked
You on
me up.
T-Mobile right now, right?
Yeah, I switched over and they hooked me up, bro.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
but
I'm on T-Mobile too. Though.
yeah, nothing good but good things. And guess what? I didn't get smacked like AT&T customers did. So the cellular outage of 2024 unaffected, bro. Mark me safe, dog.
There you go.
Yeah, it was an
You-
interesting one though, because like people were tripping. I'm like,
What do you think of the Starlink, bro?
oh, Starlink is sick, bro.
It's kind of dope, right?
Yeah, well, they just launched more into space this week too. That was part of one of the news articles as well. On top of that moon landing stuff we talked about before, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool, man. Like, I think it's gonna go somewhere. It's definitely a good concept to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super dope.
Well, you worked in the cellular world for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, in your experiences, you know, you're out there, you were out there testing the signals and things like that. Is it more about, is the quality more about the area than the provider, or does the provider like significantly play a role in the quality of your service?
Say that again, bro.
So, like, is it about
I'm
the
not.
area that you're in? Is the area that you're in going to impact the quality of your signal and your service with your cell provider, or is it a lot to do with the provider themselves and the way that they structure their approach to cellular service?
I mean, it's a supply and demand thing, you know.
Hmm.
Um, like areas like San Francisco, Bay
Right,
Area, it's like the head of technology, you know.
right.
Everything happens there first, so they're gonna bring their best out there first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not sure if I'm even answering the question.
Well, I just mean like because we were comparing Verizon to T-Mobile, and I haven't noticed a difference. Is that
No, I mean,
because I'm in LA, or is that because T-Mobile is
no.
just as good when it comes to
LA's
providing
a
a
big
signal?
city.
Yeah,
LA's a big city. Everybody's gonna try to do their best to cover
right.
every. So over
But if I
here, it
but if I
wouldn't
got
make a
out,
difference.
but I went out to like Utah,
If you're traveling, say if you're a trucker,
yeah,
you're gonna want to be with Verizon just because they have more towers.
got you.
You get more coverage,
Yeah,
but as far as the quality of the coverage, when you do have it, it's the same.
yeah, I got you.
It's not too much difference.
So they just so they live up to their hype of casting a wider network.
Yeah, and
Okay.
basically they see where the population is.
In your opinion, who is second to Verizon when it comes to a wide network?
Mm, Verizon definitely takes the lead, but AT&T and T-Mobile are slightly behind them. Sprint,
Yeah, Sprint.
AT&T and T-Mobile, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
And then you have your local ones, but they're not international. You know,
like Cricket
Metros,
Wireless, Metro. Oh, bro, the
Metro,
Getro, dude.
the Getro.
Yeah, that's
The
how I started, man. We all start somewhere.
bro, of course. Hello, hello, hello.
But if you're out here, I mean, if you're not traveling and stuff like that, it's actually probably the best move.
If you're not traveling, bro, anything works. But if you're traveling, you get with Verizon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
even bro, like some of their hotspots, like Verizon got some bomb ass hotspots. Like people,
Yeah,
truck drivers in them, like they have a cool hotspot, and they're running their laptops and everything off of that.
hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of people run their businesses and things like that off of mobile devices nowadays too. So it's changing. It's definitely a game changer. Somebody was telling me um, that they have their. Oh, and you know what? It was one of my coworkers told me during the cellular outage. He was telling me about how his Wi-Fi is through his cell company now
mm-hmm.
through T-Mobile, his home internet, and he switched it, and it's like $30 extra. But which was like $120 less a month, and no loss of nothing, less cables in the house, all that shit. I'm like, man, see, this is why we cannot connect and talk with people because we'd be helping each other out.
Exactly, bro. Every every time I talk to one of my friends who are in technology,
Yeah,
whether it's music or just in general,
yeah.
no,
Well,
they
you
be
got to
putting
be
me.
like open minded to hear what people are saying to like have a good exchange, right?
Yeah,
Because
I
some
mean,
people just won't hear it unless they're the ones saying it.
no, I embrace technology, bro. Every time something new's out, for example, like auto tune,
Yeah,
I want that. I
it's
want
fun.
whatever
Yeah,
they got. I want that. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's fun. Why not?
Plugins,
Hell yeah.
new sounds.
Oh, speaking of something new coming out, um, I have asked you this offline, but I want to hear your take on it so we can talk about it. Uh, Cybertruck, bro. Where do you stand on this? Yay or nay?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
I was I'm yay also, but I was not at first.
Oh, I mean,
To be honest with you, at first I was like, "What the fuck?"
bro. My homie said something cool the other day
Yeah.
about her Tesla. He's like, I like it for the software, not for the hardware.
Hmm.
And I think that's how I feel about the truck too, cause it looks like me and you could just drive, just you know what I mean,
Right.
straight lines. Looks kind of like what,
In the
but
pictures, it
but when
looks
you
like kind of mediocre or less.
yeah
The
when you see
Cybertruck.
the technology that they're putting in there,
Yeah.
it's
Well, isn't the technology? So when he's saying the hardware, is he just talking about the body, like design?
the body, yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say some of the hardware, like the engine, that thing got torque, bro. That thing takes off. So some of the hardware is badass. Like
Oh no, the engines is good. It's super quiet.
the truck, bro. So almost every day, drop the kids off in that neighborhood. There's a Cybertruck driving around, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that's what really turned me. I I won't lie and say that the interview with Elon Musk, where he went to Joe Rogan's podcast and they shot arrows at it and all that other stuff, kind of raised the hype for me. But seeing it in person, driving down the street, pulling up in my rear view, I'm like, whoa, it looks so cool in real life. It's so different than any other vehicle.
It's so different. Like that's one thing for sure. Nobody's done anything like that.
And your eyeball versus seeing something in real life versus seeing a picture or a video of it does not even compare.
Yeah.
Not even compare at all. It just like the way the paint is on the car or on the truck and the angles is just fucking cool, bro. I'm a nerd about it now.
It's a super cool toy.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. It's definitely going to go through some versions.
It's a fucking video game, bro.
We'll see where it goes through versions. Yeah, it's Halo, dude. That's what it is.
Man,
In the Halo game, they have a vehicle called the Warthog. It looks a lot like that. It's just goofy,
it's fun.
but
It's fun.
yeah, I was nerding out on it, so I wanted to hear where you were with it. But they did some cool stuff. But these rainstorms we had these last few weeks, there was a reports of drivers saying there was like rust spots on the metal body and stuff like that that they had to take in to get them cleaned, kind of like when they have a
I like
recall.
the I like out of the EVs. I like the Rivian.
I see a lot of those around. Do they still
Somehow I
make
like
them?
the. Yeah, I think so, bro.
Hmm.
The ones I seen, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I like trucks better, like
yeah,
pickup trucks. Something about a Rivian, I like it.
yeah, for sure. They have a cool light. You definitely know when the Rivian's on the road behind you.
Yeah, it's built with like way cooler design, you know.
Yeah, and they're definitely not a boring looking car.
It's
Looks
not
pretty
broken.
cool. I know I've gotten a ride in a couple friends' Teslas and stuff like that, so I've felt that and got to sit in there and see the difference between ordinary cars and the Tesla, um, and it's pretty fun. I'd be interested in seeing what another vehicle like the Rivian or something's like it for a ride as well.
Hmm. They're
But
gonna
yeah, man,
keep coming out with them, but
of course, bro.
apparently it's not really helping the environment or whatever, you know.
Nah, that's all a myth, anyways. It's just another way. My take is that in order to they're manufacturing a crisis to all in turn manufacture a new industry
Hmm.
and replace another one. That's all it is. In my opinion, it's a scheme, but
Yeah.
under the guise of um, climate change, what they used to call global warming. But they got
Yeah.
smart and realized that that wasn't enough
Yeah.
of a crisis, so they amped it up to
Bro,
climate change. You know,
do you do you believe in the cloud seeding?
100%. Of course, they've
Yeah,
already, but they've not just that one's already been admitted to.
it's going on, right? These rains we're having.
Yeah, so they were releasing articles about that this week, about how they were experimenting with cloud seeding here in the Los Angeles area. Yeah.
Man, I saw something about that where
So it reminds me of something. Um, I don't know if it's all the water on Earth has to come from somewhere, right? And by nature, it has its environmental trends, the
hmm
occasional things, right? This place is a desert, bro. It's a desert
yeah.
for a reason.
Hmm.
So you start cloud seeding into a desert. Well, you're taking the rainwaters from where it would naturally go somewhere. I don't know if that's true or second, third order effects, but as I process it, that's what I think is like, okay, we're going to cloud seed right here, but it's kind of like the farmer who, the guy who built the dam so that the water would divert over here. Well, where the hell did it go? When he made the dam, he diverted the water over here and now flooded this other area.
Yeah.
It wasn't the intended consequence, but it was the second, third order effect. What will be the second, third order effects of cloud seeding? I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's a mystery that we have yet to discover. But that's what
But
I'm saying.
that
We're always trying to manipulate the world.
it's kind of trippy, you know. We have these capabilities, bro. We can make it rain.
I know, right? Some rapper probably created this cloud seeding.
Hell yeah. I make it rain, call me cloud seeding.
I think that was Little Wayne, right? Little Wayne on Fat Joe. Little Wayne, Fat
Probably.
Joe. Make it rain. We'll Google it later.
Little Little Wayne, Fat Joe.
Yeah, I
And
think he was on that one.
these names are like
Terror Squad.
descriptions, you know?
I
Like
know.
you know,
Terror Squad.
Little Wayne, Fat Joe.
That's funny. That's a good one. I like that. That's funny.
Little Wayne.
Man, you think by now he'd be Big Wayne,
For real,
right?
bro. Somebody gotta feed him.
He's not 50 yet. He's like same age as us, I think. But he's got to be
Yeah.
big. He got to be Big Wayne by now. Maybe that'll be his next album. I'm gonna shoot him a message.
Yeah.
Hey, make the next album Big Wayne, bro. Let's go.
For real, bro.
Shake it up. Change the
You
game.
been little forever, bro. You're a
He can't be Lil Wayne
grandpa now.
forever, bro. No,
Yeah.
he's crazy. I never.
Grown Wayne.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, what else, man? What else is going on? We got an election year. We got uh, things changing in that area a lot. Obviously, well, do you think that this is something that's been discussed a bunch of times? But like, I think everybody expects it to be Trump versus Biden round two. Do you think that's going to be the case? I think Trump has overcome all the civil court stuff that they tried to throw at him and all that. Um,
Bro,
all those things. There's no stopping this guy. He's unstoppable.
he dropped the shoe, man.
Oh yeah, he ain't. They can't stop him. I mean, they might beat him in the voting part, right? But Joe Biden gonna beat him?
No.
Do you think? Do you? Yeah, I don't think so either. he,
Not
he can't.
Biden.
He can't even. Yeah, never mind. He can't even get through one press conference. But
Bro, he should just hang out at the buffet.
well, there's something to be said with that. Do you think he's even going to be the nominee?
He shouldn't be. It's like, bro, you should retire and relax.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that too.
What do
Um,
you?
but then who would? So let's say in a month,
Bro, anybody, dog. Like,
anybody, literally anybody, dude.
anybody smart that has good
Ric Flair,
intentions.
woo,
Woo!
woo, styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying. He said,
If it was Ric Flair versus Hulk, who you gonna vote for?
"Oh man, Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan for president of the United States, bro. I'm going with Hogan,
Woo!
and I'll tell you why, dude. Because
Tell me, brother.
no, because when he first came out, dude, he had that song. I am a real American. He had the American
Oh,
flag and play the guitar, do all that crap. I think that would be one hell of a what do they call those? A rally.
oh
But
yeah,
the Flair rally would be pretty sick too. But
bro. He's gonna be like, woo.
yeah, he will. It might be too much woos, dude.
Too much Wu Tang. Imagine.
Yeah, I think that would be fucking
Ima-
hilarious.
Imagine on the rallies he got the whole Wu Tang with him. He's like,
Yeah,
"Yee,
dude.
woo.
I don't know, man.
Bro,
It's
imagine
gonna
if he wins because he got the Wu Tang on his side.
that shit would
It's
be
like,
hilarious.
Wu Tang is for the children.
Ric Flair would be
He
a
might win, bro.
phenomenal. He would be a phenomenal campaign, like just to watch the whole thing. I mean, we've watched his career. Um, they got a Nature Boy Netflix special. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen the other ones like Dark Side of the Ring and all his interviews. The guy's a maniac. He's awesome. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Hogan's an interesting guy too, but he doesn't have the energy that Flair has at this current time. He's like walking on a cane and stuff now.
I like
No,
the
me, I love
Hogan.
the wrestling.
I like the Hogan memes.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious.
You seen the Star Wars one? He's like, I am your father, brother.
Oh my gosh, I like the one where it's his handlebar mustache, and then like it's his face under it, and it just keeps going like the mirror when you look in the mirror.
I
Oh
seen that
man,
too.
yeah, those are good memes. I
Hell
had a
yeah,
wrestler.
brother.
Oh yeah, I had a wrestler meme. I sent you. I was gonna read the quote. It was about like yeah, I'll just read it. But it's Undertaker, and he's like this. And it's going
Hmm.
around. It's going around. I've seen it in a couple pages. You ever heard a rumor about yourself and actually wanted to hear more? Like, no way. What did I do next? Yeah, dude. I actually have, and that shit is fucking hilarious. So, but the best is when the person telling you the rumor doesn't know it was about you. They're just like, oh, somebody did this, this, and that. Like, oh yeah, what else did they do? Because you already know, like
And they
this
got the whole
rumor.
story
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, that's the funniest shit ever, dude. I love that. I live for moments like that. Yeah, man. Well, Shawn, you got any key takeaways, bro, from our conversation? We talked about some current events, but we kind of went into a pretty deep topic on the mental health stuff. What's your thoughts? Close it out.
Um, with the whole mental health thing, bro, you just gotta have some hope. No matter how bad things get, you gotta know, man. Life is full of surprises. It's always worth living and seeing the next moment, see what could happen instead of giving up.
Big facts. I'll echo that. Is to stay strong if you're going through something. Keep your head up, eyes on the horizon. Keep that hope in your heart. And if you're going through something, you don't have to go through it alone. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, get the help that you need, get the strength that you need, build that resilience up that we talked about, and you'll make it through. Life is worth living. We don't want to see you gone. Uh, there's plenty of other ways that life's going to come at you, and take you down. We all got to go someday, but it doesn't have to be that way. So stick in there and keep your head up. Be strong. You got this. And thank you all for joining us today. And we want to wish you all a wonderful day wherever you're at, whatever you're up to. Stay strong, and we'll talk to you next time. We're out.
Yee.